Up to this large railroad station come buses, taxis, and private cars, carrying people who are going to travel by passenger train. At the entrance to the station, the cars stop and the people get out. Thousands of people pass through here every day on their way to and from trains. If their train is not ready, they may stay in this large waiting room, walking about or sitting on big benches. They must go to the ticket window and get tickets before going to the train. Inside each window is a ticket seller. Each one who rides on the train must buy a ticket to the place where he is going. Money from tickets helps pay the cost of running the trains. Near the trains are gates through which passengers must go. A gateman looks at the tickets to be sure that each passenger is on his way to the right train. It is almost time for this passenger train to leave the station, and the passengers are hurrying along the glistening sides of its coaches. The train will be pulled by this big streamlined diesel-electric locomotive. Its engines are warming up, and inside the cab sits Mr. Schroeder, the engineer who has driven locomotives for many years. He is always ready. Inside the locomotive further back is the attendant, the engineer's assistant. He stays close to the big motors, for his job is to keep them in good running order. Burned gases from the engines go out through these pipes in the top. Each passenger can take a trunk with him free, and the last of these is going into the baggage car. Into another car go the last bags of mail. Carrying mail also helps pay the cost of running the train. Inside the mail car, railway mail clerks put together papers and letters for each town or city. The conductor, Mr. Owens, is in charge of the train.
All aboard! All aboard!
He signals the engineer. The train must start exactly on time, and now Mr. Schroeder must go to work. All the doors along the train are closed, and the engineer opens the throttle. Sand keeps wheels from slipping on their path of smooth steel rails. Wider and wider the throttle is opened. The long train gathers speed as it winds its way along the tracks. Leading from the gates at the big station are many tracks, which gradually join each other farther out. A train dispatcher knows on which track each train should run, and he switches each to its proper track. The trains run under banks of signals which show the engineers whether they should go ahead or stop. Here is a signal ahead now. It is set for stop. Mr. Schroeder, the engineer, with hand on the brake, sets the air, and iron brakes close on the wheel. Now the signal changes to go, and again the powerful locomotive pulls the train ahead. It is safe now to pass the signal. Inside one of the coaches, Mr. Owens, the conductor, is already taking up tickets, making sure that each one has paid for his ride. The passengers have comfortable seats. They can sit up or lie back easily if they want to rest. Overhead, out of the way, are racks filled with bags and parcels. The cars of the train are joined snugly together by a part called the vestibule. A highway crossing is ahead. Now Mr. Schroeder closes the throttle to slow down the train, for a sharp curve is just ahead. The engineer knows exactly how fast he can go with safety. The train is passing under a safe highway crossing built above the tracks. And now it runs alongside a river. The river valley is level, so it is an easy place to build level tracks. The last car on this train is called the observation car. Plenty of windows and seats all about. Here there are desks where passengers may write letters, and easy chairs and lounges where they may sit comfortably and chat with each other while they enjoy such sights as this beautifully winding stream. These men are whiling away the time playing cards. Those in the observation car now see a long freight train, cattle cars, empty coal cars, and a powerful steam engine. Soon, the train is going through a deep cut, made in a hillside, so the tracks could still be level. And now it approaches a tunnel, a big hole bored through a high, steep hill. This tunnel is at historic Harper's Ferry. Over the Potomac River from the state of Maryland into the state of West Virginia. It is mealtime for the passengers, and this is the dining car, an excellent restaurant that is part of the train. The steward shows the people to their seats and gives them menus, large cards with lists of food, so that each can choose the kind of food he likes. Some are already eating. A dining car is a great convenience to people traveling long distances by train. The food is brought in by waiters who are clever at balancing their large trays as the train speeds along. When the diners have decided what they want, the waiters go into the kitchen and repeat their orders to the chief cook, who is called the chef. He must keep many kinds of food on hand. The cooks are clean, and the kitchen of the dining car, although small, is kept spotless. A good meal in the dining car is a pleasant event for passengers during a long ride. Up in his cab, Engineer Schroeder has no thought of food. He must watch the track ahead. The safety of all the passengers depends on his skill and watchfulness. His train approaches a small village and dashes on through. The big steel rails sag under the weight of the rushing train. Onward as darkness falls outside, the ever-watchful engineer speeds his passengers. It is almost bedtime. The Pullman porter begins to change seats into beds, taking out backs of seats to make bottoms for beds called berths. Above the seats, he unlocks a big curving door, and inside finds more articles for making up the berth: mattresses, sheets, and pillows. Some he takes out of the berth for the one below, and others he will use for the berth above. Those who are not yet ready for bed may have tables, magazines, newspapers, and writing materials with which to while away the evening. And always Mr. Schroeder alertly watches his locomotive and the track ahead, in the dark of night, through villages, around curves, through cuts and tunnels, over high bridges. The porter, having made up these two berths, puts in position a little ladder for the passenger who is to sleep above. Through the night rushes the train, its headlights shining on the rails of the track. The attendant, ever on watch over his motors, they are watching the track ahead. The safety, the lives of all his passengers depend on the skill and watchfulness of the locomotive engineer.
The porter carries a step for passengers so that they can get off the high cars easily. And as he had promised Mr. Watson, the Pullman conductor sees Bobby off the train. Here's Uncle Ray shouting, "Hi there, cowboy." The long ride is over. Uncle Ray's Jeep is waiting. The train starts off again, and off goes Bob to the ranch, to new adventures with cowboys and horses. But the train goes on across more mountains, more valleys, across desert country until it reaches its destination, California. Someone's going away on a trip. The traveler is Bobby Watson. He's going out west all by himself to spend his vacation on Uncle Ray's ranch. And while Bobby gets all scrubbed and polished, cleaned and combed, down in the railroad yards, his train is being showered, soaked, and steamed all at the same time. Before every trip, passenger cars are pulled through an automatic washing machine where they're scrubbed and polished until they shine. The big diesel-electric locomotives, already cleaned and oiled, wait to be called for work. In another part of the railroad yard, fresh linen and towels are put on the train, and food for the dining cars where the passengers will eat while they ride. The Watsons live in a big city. Just now, Bobby and his father are coming to the station in a taxi. Some passengers arrive on foot, some in cars, and some by bus. The station is a busy place. Many trains come and go in this station. The bulletin board shows what time each train should arrive and leave, and whether it's on time or late. At the baggage counter, people may check their bags and suitcases to be carried in a special baggage car. Mr. Watson prefers to carry Bob's suitcase right onto the train. There are stores and newsstands in this station, too. Bob thinks a magazine may help to pass the many hours on the trip. "Let's go," says Mr. Watson. The sign tells him where to go. Passengers pass through this gate to get to their train. Each passenger shows his ticket to the gateman, so that the gateman can be sure that each passenger gets on the right train. "Track number 1, says the gateman to Bobby. Here's Bob's train all put together, ready for the passengers. In the rear is the observation car. As he walks by, Bob wonders if he can ride in it. "Yes," says his father, "but first we must find your seat on the train." The engineer and his helper are climbing aboard the big engine. They're all set for the trip. Here's Bob's car. The porter takes his baggage. Mr. Watson asks the conductor to keep an eye on Bob because this is his first train trip alone. Then he gives Bobby his ticket.
All aboard!
"You're on your own now," he says. The engineer gets the go-ahead signal. He opens the throttle. The huge locomotive sets the train in motion, slowly at first. The signal light is green. The road is clear. Through the railroad yards, the train travels slowly. Bob's riding in a small room of his own called a roomette. It has a comfortable seat in the daytime and can be turned into a bedroom at night. A wardrobe is built into the wall of the roomette and a wash basin. Bob sees a neighbor open the wash basin. The tracks gradually lead out of town and join the main line. The engineer watches every road sign carefully. The safety of the passengers is in his hands. Traveling in a roomette is comfortable.
Tickets, please.
Bob has 2 tickets, one for the train trip and another one for his place in the roomette. The Pullman conductor gets the roomette ticket. The train conductor returns half of the round-trip ticket to Bob to use when he travels back home again. Now Bob can go and explore the train. On his way, Bob first passes through a chair car. Many people like to ride in chair cars like this one, especially for short trips. It costs less and is quite comfortable. The attendant tells Bob that the observation car is 3 cars farther back. On his way, Bob sees the dome car, a car with a roof of glass. Through the glass dome, the passengers can watch the landscape all around them. Here is the observation car. Now Bob understands why it's at the rear end of the train. While the passengers relax and enjoy their trip, many people work to keep them safe and comfortable. In the train kitchen, cooks prepare meals for the 200 passengers. Now the train's hurrying through farm country. At lunchtime, the waiter rings chimes to tell the passengers to come to the dining car. In a moving train, waiters have to learn to keep good balance when serving food. Many people leave their coach seats to go to the dining car. A dining car is like a traveling restaurant. Here, while they eat their meals, the passengers can enjoy the moving landscape. For passengers who don't want a big meal, this train has a lunch car. Bob has ordered a sandwich for lunch and a glass of milk. And while he eats his sandwich, the train is approaching a station. It's just a small one, but it's important for the train crew because here, the engineer and his helper are leaving the train and a new crew takes over. This way, the train has a rested engineer every few hours. Say, look who's here. This is Clyde. Bob has company. Now the boys can watch the landscape together. And they can talk about the things they've seen on the trip so far. Bob tells Clyde about the ranch he's going to visit. After a while, they decide to go to the observation car where they can play checkers. In good company, the afternoon passes quickly. The boys don't even notice that the sun is gradually setting. It's already bedtime for small children. This room is larger than Bobby's and is called a bedroom. Already the evening meals are being served. While the train speeds into the dusk, the porter prepares beds for his passengers. The shadows grow longer, and the countryside darkens. Guided by signposts and signals which tell the engineer the safe speed at which he may travel, the train speeds toward the sunset. One by one, the lights go out, and the passengers go to sleep. This is how a passenger goes to rest in a roomette prepared for the night. Now it's morning again. Uncle Ray's ranch is just across the mountain range. But the train won't have to climb over it. The tracks are cut into the sides of the mountain. And sometimes the train goes through the mountain itself, through a tunnel. Or it rushes across rugged country, over bridges and trestles. Are you ready? Asked the Pullman conductor. Bob will get off at a small station where the train stops only for a moment, but he's all packed and ready. Come on, Bobby, here we are. The porter carries a step for passengers so that they can get off the high cars easily. And as he had promised Mr. Watson, the Pullman conductor sees Bobby off the train. Here's Uncle Ray shouting, "Hi there, cowboy." The long ride is over. Uncle Ray's Jeep is waiting. The train starts off again, and off goes Bob to the ranch, to new adventures with cowboys and horses. But the train goes on across more mountains, more valleys, across desert country until it reaches its destination, California.